God loved us so much that He allowed us to be a part of His importance. He allowed us the chance to enjoy His excellence. We gain our importance when we're in His excellence, in His glory. It means He thinks we're important. It's kind of like, this is a really bottom feeder analogy, but when Roberto Luongo, the Vancouver Canucks goalie, gets in one of the 3-star selections after the game, certain people pick the 3 best hockey players of the game. And when he gets picked, 1st or 2nd or 3rd star, Roberto Luongo goes out on the ice, skates around in a circle, and goes to a side of the ice where there's a child, and he puts his goalie stick over the boards so that child can take that goalie stick home with him. That's what I think he does that every time. So what he's doing is he's one of the 3 stars, therefore someone said, "You're excellent." But he chooses to do, he is excellent, he played a great game, you can't deny that. But rather than saying, "Come on everyone, tell me how excellent I am," what he does is he shares his excellence with someone else. And that kid does not feel like Roberto Luongo is a megalomaniac. The kid could say, I suppose, "I don't want your stick. I got my dad's bank account. I'm going to go buy my own stick. Who do you think you are giving me your stick, thinking you're all that? Ooh, Roberto Luongo's stick. Can't wait to take this home. I don't want your blankety blank stick." But no one says that. They're happy to receive his stick. And in fact, they're like, "Wow, he touched the stick. He played the whole game with the stick. He looked me in the eyes when he gave it to me. He looked sternly at the lame old men who were trying to steal that stick from me to make sure I got it and I got to walk home with it." They enjoyed being in the presence of Roberto Luongo's excellence, and they got to take a piece of that home with them. Not because Luongo's a megalomaniac in that instance, but he wants to share that experience with someone else. That's God and His excellence. He says, "You are important because you get to share in my excellence, and you get to live out my excellence, and you get to share my excellence with other people." Now let's quickly look at John 17, see how this plays out in Jesus' experience. Page 740, let's look at a couple verses. And we're going to see in a biblical way how God allows us to enjoy and live out His excellence, not because He's a megalomaniac, but because He loves us. And He wants to give us importance within His importance. And actually, this is the bizarrest part. God the Father and God the Son did that to each other. Check this out. Chapter 17, verse 1, 2nd sentence. Jesus is praying and says, "Father," so He's praying to God the Father, "the hour has come." The hour, of course, is the hour which to die. So in that situation, he's thinking about his upcoming death. Everyone thinks of failure. His friends all around are going to run away. It's like, this is like a sad ending. Jesus knows better. He says, "Father, the hour has come." Climax. "Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify you." He's saying to his Father, he's praying, "Father, in this instance where I'm going to die, but in that, sins are forgiven. In this instance, allow me to experience your excellence and people around me to see your excellence. And as I obey you, I'm participating in your excellence. And I pray that in that of me trying to glorify you, make your excellence known. I pray that you will be glorified in that. Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify you." Let's skip down to verse 4. "I have brought you glory on earth." Everything Jesus did was within enjoying God's excellence and proclaiming, living out God's excellence. So everything Jesus did, he was like the mutual consent of one. But he mutually consented and said, "You are the most excellent. Everything I do is for you. I have brought you glory. I have expanded your excellence on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do." Verse 5, "But now, Father, glorify me." I've been glorifying you. I've been living in your excellence, proclaiming it. Now, it's not much my turn, but this is part of your plan. Glorify me now. On this cross, it looks like failure. Looks like the worst exit ever. Make that a place where my excellence is shown. Glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. Jesus remembers he was pre-existent before his human existence. That's a series for another day. Back then, when God the Son was with God the Father creating everything. Jesus remembers, I had ultimate excellence back then. Give that back to me through this incident on the cross. Verse 24. And he's going to pray. Now he's talking about you. He's praying for you. He says, Father, I want those you have given to me to be with me. I want to have a relationship with them. I want them to see my glory. I want them to know how excellent I am. The glory you have given me, I want them to see how excellent you are. Because you loved me before the creation of the world. Righteous Father, though the world does not know you, that's the culture we talked about the other day. They don't get you, they're actually against you. They make us the opposite. Instead of glorifying you and living in your excellence, proclaiming your excellence, it's all about my excellence. If the world doesn't know you, culture doesn't get you. There's a lot of things about culture I like, but in this kind of regard, culture does not get you. But I get you, I know you, and they, the Christians, us, the believers, the ones he loves, they know that you have sent me. The ones who are believing me know who I am. Verse 26, last verse. I have made you known to them, and will continue to make you known, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them. God allows us to enjoy and proclaim His excellence with our lives because He loves us. He knows we can experience His love, the love of the Son, in the penultimate way, the best way, as we enjoy His excellence and as we live out His excellence. And in that, it's not megalomania, it's not like worship, mindless worship. It's relationship and it's love. Jesus is up there saying, my Father's the greatest, honor Him. And the Father says, this is my Son, honor Him. Give your consent, and you get this relationship with God that's exemplified by love. So what does it mean to glorify God? What does it mean to enjoy His excellence and to live out His excellence? You know, it has to do with, you change the way you work, change the way you do relationships, it changes your view on money, changes your view on sex and sensuality, changes your view on friendships. We're going to talk about this next week, so we can pray for people to experience this love as they live in His excellence and live out His excellence. We're going to talk about that next week. Superstars are not eternal. Their voices crack, their beauty fades, their muscles become flabby, their joints stiffen. They don't live forever. And not everyone agrees on how excellent anyone's superstar is. But Jesus is eternally young. He's the real superstar. And as we enjoy His excellence and live out His excellence, in that we find our reason for being. In that we find what people are for. So next week we're going to learn how to pray for people that they would be able to have that experience. That they'll be able to find out what they're made for. To live in God's experience, to live in God's excellence, enjoy it, and to live out so that people around, hopefully one day God says everyone will give mutual consent that God the Father and God the Son are the greatest. Right now we live in an age of grace where God's kind of waiting. So that day's coming. We're going to wait to try and get as many people experiencing my excellence, it's called the age of grace, as possible before that end comes. So next we're going to learn how to pray for those we love, those we care about, that they would glorify God. Let's end with one sentence, and I'm going to pray. Our value, our importance, has been conferred on us, has been given to us by a higher source, by God. Our value has been given to us by God, and we are fulfilled only when serving and loving God. That's the only time we'll be most fulfilled, when we'll experience how we were meant to be. You know, it's great, to look at the pictures on a book and make up your own story. It's kind of fun. And God still made the pictures, even though you're changing the words. It's kind of fun, and everyone on the planet enjoys God without realizing it. As they enjoy breathing, they enjoy family, they enjoy sports or entertainment. Everyone is enjoying the pictures. They don't know the words. Until we know how to glorify God, and until we desire to glorify God, to live in His excellence and live out His excellence, we won't know the words to the story. We're still having a good life, but we're not enjoying it to the full. We're not connecting the dots.